The news is horrific, and we have a lot to talk about. So if you haven't yet, follow this channel to make sure you get all of the updates whenever we do new videos. And if you want to avoid the commercials here on Twitch, go ahead and subscribe. Greatly appreciate that. If you're on YouTube, of course, do all the buttons so that you make sure you get everything as it comes out and available, and we greatly appreciate that. And do what you can to watch all the videos in this thread to keep up on the stories of everything that's going on in the world of Nycos. So we have the story of 3 of our 4 groups to go over tonight, as has been the case for the last few weeks. The group that is currently far to the south, we're going to point out where they were last seen. They have departed from the realm of Selk, far to the south, this tiny little town on the edge of the world. They sailed south. The last broadcast or last message that was sent from them was something to the effect of amber, but that was as far as the message got. No additional information was known. They have not been seen for better than 2 months now, and they are feared lost at sea. Now let's move to our second group, which is given to be in the city of Potiphar. This group has done much to try to preserve the Eldrin population, but alas, they've run into some difficulties as they've gotten to the city here. The tragedy that befell them was matched with the glory that they experienced almost in the same breath. There was a great tragedy wherein they actually have lost the benefit of the much praised and much appreciated minstrel Marianne of Brandywine, who has, alas, turned her attention to the preservation of the Eldrin knowledge that potentially is being lost with the devastation that was suffered by the Primus species and the terrible things that happened along the ridge of what is now being known as the Flaming Blades, which had been the Silver Blades for at least 2 iterations. So the Flaming Blades Mountains, from the area just north of Candle's Keep all the way north to the very edge of the mountains where there are currently the ruins of Valara, are currently inundated with flames and destruction, and the Eldrin population's losses are extreme. And Marianne has taken upon herself the glory and the danger inherent in trying to save the records of their musical histories, and therefore has removed herself from the story. At the same time, a great tragedy befell them as the famous cook and king regent of Jadaroon, Asado, has met his demise. And while he has left a means for establishing his cousin Julieta in that role, nonetheless, there are challenges to that they're having to handle in the next few weeks, wherein she will be reinstating herself by literally taking her seat on the throne of Jadaroon. So there's plenty going on, and a really serious number of twists going on, and also the introduction of new persona. Finally, the last piece of news about this is that the famous organization or union of the city workers in Nycos, of the entire nation, planet, if you will, the group known as Heavy Metal, have assigned the particular role of commander-in-chief of their military to Boudinn himself. Upon his completion of his armored suit, he has dedicated his life to creating an armored protection for the world of Nycos, and has begun the construction of variety of weapons for that purpose, and therefore he also has resigned from the playing group. So there's a lot of transition on that Monday group. If you are a new player and want to be a part of our games, we do play at Board Game Paradise on Monday nights from 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. Next, we're going to talk about a group that is quite distant from them, and, well, let's just put it this way. They also have been out of communication for several weeks, and they also may be lost at sea. But several interesting developments have occurred in that area that suggests that they may not be out of action, so to speak. The first of which is that the village of, and I need to recheck my notes on this one because it's a particular note. Let me go see here. Wrong group. There it is. Okay, just looking to see where my note is because I know I put the note in. That's an interesting note. This is obviously going to be a cut in the video because for some reason I didn't put the note in here. Yes. So the village of Cottingham, a port town just north and east of Salafort, was being had been assaulted, and there were considerable losses reckoned. The adventuring group became aware that it may have been a group of Maruk who may have been doing raids and became concerned about it, but they didn't have the ability to or the desire to directly interact at that point. Well, it's come to our awareness that there has been apparently a major tsunamic storm, or at least a tsunamic wave, that crashed into the coastal region of north of Salk. And while it flooded a considerable region, it seems also to have decimated that Maruk fleet and the hulk upon which they were traveling. And the devastation and the ruins is along the majority of the coastline north and east of Cottingham. There are very few details yet available from that, but the tsunamic wave only hit in the past 72 hours, so it's of concern what kind of activity might have caused that. Perhaps it's an awakening of the gods, or perhaps something dangerous is awakening in the deep. It's really not known. There are those who claim that at the moment of its destruction of that coastal area, that there were strange lights in the sky, northern sky, suggestive of the equivalent of a borealis effect, but no one's really certain what that light, those lights might have been. The next concern is that this wave of destruction, this tsunamic wave, also seems to have caused a concern among the Mir, who are suggesting that there may be foul play at part and are laying direct claims that it might be a Koramite response to trade embargoes that had been placed upon the gear and valuables that were being traded to the Mir by the Koramites. And so this, although they are far from each other coastally, they may actually be on the brink of establishing some form of counter tariffs, or perhaps even injunctions against trade with the peoples of the north. We will keep you up to date on that as well. Finally, the next section we want to cover, let me see, yes. So, there are several pieces of information, and these are becoming known worldwide at this point, not only here through the Gnome News Network, but also through the governance offices in all major cities. It appears that Nyx has fallen into what is being called currently a civil disturbance, but their ability to receive travel, transits, and such through their train station has been restricted. There also seems to be an active embargo against mortal travel in the wilderness around and surrounding Nyx. Also, the valley between Nyx and Nexus is currently being patrolled by Eldrin of the Nyxian government, specifically questioning and interrogating those that would pass from Nexus towards Nyx. And the boundaries of the Wilderlands at Elgath are being restricted. There is suggestion there might be a grave illness in the nation of Nyx or other great plague upon the nation, but there have been no details released. It is unknown whether or not the Empress is a sufferer of this potential disease, and so there will be more information on that in the future. But in the heels of that, there has been a broadcast that has been reached virtually every governmental system as it was transited via the Ironhead railway system to all major cities, that an Eldrin enjoined by the name of Stormcrow has declared a unanimity of the elf species, expanding the description of the Eldrin to include all other of their cousins, as he said, with the exception of the Undrin and Primus. Undrin and Treloran. This is a reflection of the ancient times when the elves of Nycos distanced themselves from their Everdark brethren due to their meddling in dark magics. So this is yet to be discerned. There seems to be some form of collusion between the city of Nyx and other realms to the north and east. But these are yet to be resolved, and we'll have more information for that going forward. The other piece of news that may be of interest to you, O viewers, is the fact that the government of Elsadar, of Gilder, and Florin have unified for the first time in this iteration, and have done so under the title of an individual that they have appointed by the name of Darkenval, who is the, by their own definition, Imperator. And this Empire of Man is an establishment that they claim will stand the test of time and will unify all of Nycos for the mortals in global terms. This, of course, is yet to be seen, but it is known that there has been a push over the last 20 or so years for the humans to re-emerge as a active force in the governments and the governance of Nycos in general. And so this will be of marked concern over time. Now, for those of you who are currently members of the community of Nycos, you do have access to the Discord, and the Discord link is here on Twitch, and that link should be good. If you have any challenges with that, make sure you let me know. Additionally, if you are a participant, you have access to the Discord channel. If you are not yet a participant, you can become part of our community by backing the Patreon program at Nycos RPG. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. It's patreon.com/Nycos. I get ahead of myself. And so if you want to be a part of our play community, our games on Saturdays and Sundays, the two that are, by the way, currently off the coasts of Nycos and therefore are not tracking directly, you can gain the insight of what's going on with those campaigns and how those players are faring by becoming part of our Patreon program and even possibly participating as a player in those games Saturday at 9 a.m. and Sunday at 1 p.m., both in Pacific time. And of course, you can always join us live at Board Game Paradise on Mondays and Tuesdays, 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. Pacific. And also, the usual game of role play roulette is at 2 o'clock p.m. on Saturdays at Board Games Paradise in Redlands, California, which is also Pacific time. But you can also be a participant in our Friday role play roulettes here on YouTube. So check those out. The links for those will be in the description below. Thank you very much for being with me tonight. I hope that you get a chance to join us. I hope this information really helps your role-play game experience. And if you have not yet played Nycos, check out nycosrpg.com. And from the ready-to-play section there, you can download the Fast Play Nycos RPG rules and also the Persona packet. And so you have everything that you need to play. Alrighty, I will see you all next time. Have a great evening, and